Hello, it's Jeff. Welcome back to the Long Suffering channel. You notice a little bit of a different angle. My wife bought me one of those little tripods to hold the phone, so it's more of a direct, instead of looking down or looking up, it's more looking at the phone instead of down towards the phone. Um, just gonna go over quickly Mets, Jets, and Rangers. Still no news about Juan Soto. Rumors, of course, are flying everywhere that the Mets have already offered him $650 million, and other teams are involved, and the Red Sox are involved, and Toronto, and this team and that team. Scott Boras he's a con man, he's a phony, he's a politician. This is all coming from him to create bidding wars up and down, all over the place, all up the wazoo. So until something comes down from a reputable source, one of these baseball insiders, I don't believe any of it. Hope the Mets sign him. I would love if they signed him. But until something official comes down the pike, mum's the word essentially right now. So we'll see maybe by the next video or next. I mean, who knows? Who knows with Scott Boras? You just expect the unexpected. As for the Rangers, they've won their last two. They beat San Jose and Seattle. Both low-scoring, kind of ugly, disjointed games with not much offense, not much aesthetics to it. Win is a win. You take the 2 points any way you can. Goaltending has been very good. Igor had a blip with two so-so games, but he was very good against San Jose. And Jonathan Quick, another shutout last night. That's 2 shutouts in a row as he continues to defy Father Time, something that Aaron Rodgers is not doing, but we'll get to that in a second. Jonathan Quick, I was a little worried about him coming into this season because last season he fell off a little bit. He was letting in a lot of goals. Didn't look good. He looked old. He looked slow. So I didn't know what to expect from him. But so far he's been fantastic. 4-0. Goals against under 1, a .970 save percentage, 2 shutouts. He's had 4 starts and 2 shutouts in the 4 starts. So he's been fantastic. The offense, not so much, but somebody brought up a great point in one of these videos I watch. I watch a lot of other people that post videos and post content. They're not playing well at all. They started okay with the beating Pittsburgh, beating Montreal. They had some nice performances, but over the last 3 weeks, they really haven't played well at all. But they're still winning, 11-4-1. And the more points you get in October, November, the fewer points you need in April. So you take the points. Obviously, you never apologize for winning a game in any sport. You take the 2 points and you move on. But man, this team has just not looked good in a long time. I have their schedule. Excuse me. I'm gonna go back to the last game where they really looked like a cohesive unit, like they had everything clicking at the same time. You probably have to go back to that Montreal game back on October 22nd. The game after that, they lost to Florida. The game after that, they just barely beat Anaheim 2-1. The game after that, they got their teeth kicked in Washington. Final score was 5-3, but the game wasn't even that close. Only Igor kept it that close. After that, they hung on for dear life to beat Ottawa 2-1, another game where Igor stole it. Then they beat the Islanders 5-2 at home. Another deceiving final score because it was not a 5-2 game. Then they got blown out by Buffalo 6-1. Then they had that helter-skelter, ragtag, discombobulated game in Detroit where they won 4-0. Another deceiving score. Quick was amazing. They got empty net goals. Then came the disappointment against Winnipeg, and then these 2 low-scoring wins against bad Western Conference teams in San Jose and Seattle. They continue the West Coast trip now through Canada, Vancouver, Calgary, and then Edmonton. They need to pick it up. The Kreider, Zibanejad, Riley Smith line 5-on-5 is basically useless. Chris Kreider has yet to have an assist this season. And I know he's mostly known for scoring goals. But last year, he set a career high with, I believe it was 36 assists. I mean, that's a lot of assists for someone that isn't really a playmaker. This year he's got 0. That line 5-on-5, they just don't give you anything offensively. And that needs to change. If this team is going to reach their lofty destinations or their desired destinations, that line needs to pick it up. Last night, they were going through the motions as they usually do, back and forth, turnovers, whatever. Not much going on. Then Panarin makes an incredible pass to Lafreniere, who taps it into the empty net. And Zach Jones with a nice end-to-end rush, a goal, a shot that Philip Grubauer probably should have had, but we'll take it. And Quick made it stand up. But they got to pick it up. And now with Philip Hedl hurt, he was actually playing very well. That line was playing well. Johnny Brodzinski has moved into third-line center role, but he's a borderline NHL player. So as far as I'm concerned, Zibanejad, Kreider, all of them, Riley Smith, they all need to pick it up. Adam Fox needs to pick it up. He has no goals this year, Adam Fox. He has like 14 assists or whatever, but in general, the whole team really needs to pick it up. And we'll see what happens against a struggling Vancouver team, who will also, the banner thing on the phone, keep getting alerts and messages, so I just want to shove it away. So we'll see. 11-4-1, it's a good record, even though the play isn't so good. Now, you notice I'm wearing a Jets t-shirt. As the saying goes in politics, you can't love your country only when you win. You can't love your sports team only when they win. You support your team, win, lose, or draw. Yesterday was another, I don't even know what words to use, mind-numbing, unbelievable. We keep saying the same things every week about the Jets. Again, they come out unprepared. They're down 13-0, nothing going for them. They get the late touchdown in the first half, force a turnover to start the second half, take the lead. Then they build on the lead. They had a lead of 24-16 and 27-22. And you're thinking, okay, we got it. All our great defense needs to do is make one last stop. And they let Anthony Richardson look like Joe Montana and slice and dice the Jet defense like he was a sushi chef. And once again, Sauce Gardner is part of a blown coverage. Because the Jets play zone, no one person is completely at fault, but he is part of the reason why that first play down the right sideline happened, a 39-yard gain. If you watch the Jets postgame show with Bart Scott, he was explaining what the cornerback's role is in cover 2, and which is what they were playing, cover 2, and you have to reroute the receiver. You have to, whichever direction you want him to go, you have to reroute him. You have to sort of accidentally on purpose kind of get in the way a little bit and make him run towards the sideline. But that's not what happened. He just kind of, like a bullfighter, let him go. Ole! Let him go, straight down the seam. Richardson dropped in the perfect pass. And it looks like the safety, Mills, was at fault. But apparently, according to Bart Scott, it was Sauce's fault. But again, that's semantics. It's just this team, they continue to find ways to lose. Whether it's Michael Clemens, who can't set the edge, when you know a running quarterback is going to run, he still can't set the edge. He still doesn't make the smart play. And I have to just say a little bit about Rodgers here, who he statistically had a pretty good game. I think he had 114 quarterback rating. Statistics usually are deceiving. You have to watch. I don't think Rodgers played well at all. He did throw 2 touchdown passes, but one of them was all Breece Hall. It was like a dump off to Breece, and he just took it to the house. The other was a blown coverage by Indy, where Kenny Yeboah was wide open. He walked in for a touchdown. And on that last drive, I actually did think, with 46 seconds left, the ball on the 30-yard line, all you needed was 3 completions to get into field goal range. I thought he would do it. You throw a 10 or 15-yard pass, you get up, you spike it. You throw a 10, 15-yard pass, you get up and spike it. You throw a 10-yard pass, you get up and spike it. And what does he do? The first play, he's under pressure, and he tries to lateral it or something, and it ended up being a fumble, which the Jets recovered, but it essentially killed the drive. Because the next play, he just dumps it off to Brees, who's tackled immediately. They gained like 5 yards or whatever it was. Then they got a break because the Indianapolis player laid on Brees Hall, causing a delay of game penalty. It stopped the clock. And it reminded me of last year against the Giants with that miraculous comeback with Zach when Kayvon Thibodeau jumped off sides on the Jets' game-tying drive in the fourth quarter. And not only did the Jets complete the pass and get a nice gain, the clock was stopped because Thibodeau was off sides. So I thought the Jets got a huge break. The clock was stopped. It was 3rd down and 7. They might have had enough time to at least complete a pass and get up and spike it, but that didn't happen. Rodgers gets sacked. You can't get sacked in that situation, and that ended the game. If anybody thinks that this guy needs to be brought back, I'm sorry, but you're out of your mind. This guy has failed. The Rodgers experiment has failed. They gave this guy the keys to the kingdom, and he screwed it up. They are 3-8. And I don't want to hear all this nonsense about firing Rob Saleh was the wrong move, because that's what I'm seeing now, that they've gotten worse since Saleh was fired. This team stunk with Rob Saleh, and they stink without him. This is still his team. This is his coaching staff. This is his scheme. This is his way of doing things. No accountability, no discipline, no focus. None. This is still the Rob Saleh way of doing things. I didn't think firing him was going to help. I thought they would still be a lousy football team, which they are. And this, oh God, I tell you, some of you fans, some of you commentators out there, you need to have your head checked if you're saying that the defense was so good under Saleh and now it stinks that he's not there. They were terrible against San Francisco. Terrible on opening night. And they weren't very good in Tennessee either the following week. Will Levis handed that game to them on a silver platter. And even so, Tennessee was on the way to tying the game late in the fourth quarter. The defense continued to fall apart in fourth quarters when protecting a lead. Only the competence of Will Levis gave the Jets the victory that day. Then they had their great game against New England, and that ended up being the high water mark for the season. I mean, they were down 17-0 to Minnesota. I mean, come on. And then, defensively, when they needed to make a stop at the end of the game, they couldn't do it. So please, stop. Stop with this. Getting rid of Rob Saleh was the wrong move. He should have been fired after last season. Okay, the team has not gotten worse. They were bad already with or without him. You want to criticize Ulbrich? He doesn't know what he's doing. Fine. This team isn't winning enough games to make the playoffs if Saleh was still here. Please. So I've been saying it for a few weeks now, and I'm going to continue to say it. Tear this thing down to the ground. Get rid of Rodgers. Get rid of Hackett. Get rid of all of Rodgers' buddies. Bleach the place. Fumigate the place. Get rid of any type of evidence that Aaron Rodgers was ever here. Davante Adams, see ya. Any of the other Green Bay guys that Rodgers brought with him, goodbye. I personally would trade Sauce. I would trade Quinnen Williams because you can get premium picks for them. And even though Quinnen has played well the last few weeks, since he got his massive extension, he's been a bit of a disappointment. He's not getting any younger. This team needs to just everything from the front office to the coaching staff to the players. Rebuild, retool, reimagine, everything. And I don't buy the argument that they're going to have a hard time finding quality executives and coaches to come here. If you get rid of Rodgers and all of his cronies. This is still the New York market. And the New York market is like, it's very attractive. And you know that you're going to be playing for an owner that's going to invest any and every type of resource that he can to put a winning product on the field. Whether you like Woody Johnson or not, he will spend the money. He will bring in the talent. He will do whatever he has to spend to put a winning product on the field. And as a GM, as a coach, that's what you want from your owner. So who's going to come in and be the GM and coach? I don't know. But one thing I do know is the New York market will always attract the best. And whether it's an experienced guy like a Mike Vrabel, whether it's a first-time head coach like Ben Johnson or Aaron Glenn from Detroit, it doesn't really matter to me in the abstract, in the macro sense. As long as you bring in, as long as you just completely renovate this entire franchise. The specifics, TBD. But cut Rodgers, fire Ulbrich, fire everybody. Joe Douglas's contract will expire, so just let him go. Let him. He'll find a job. There's no doubt in my mind that he'll find a job probably pretty quickly. But what I would do, cut bait, hoist anchor, and shove off. Start new, start fresh. I know rebuilds suck. I know it's frustrating. Oh, it's another 2-3 years before we're competitive. But in the NFL, if you make the right coaching hire, and if you make the right player personnel decisions, you can get really good really quickly. Jet fans, older Jet fans will remember 1996. They were 1-15 in the Rich Kotite disaster. They bring in Bill Parcells, the tuna, the legendary Giants coach, and in one season they went from 1-15 to 9-7, and damn near made the playoffs. Coaching is vital. Culture is vital. Bring in the right coach and the right culture, the right quarterback, the right players, and this team can get good quickly if you do the right thing and completely rid yourself of this entire coaching staff and Rodgers and his cronies. If Rodgers wants to play again, fine, go play for whoever you want to play with, but it's not going to be with the Jets anymore. You still have Tyrod Taylor under contract. He can be your starting quarterback. While if you draft a young guy, you can let him sit for a year. That's how you move forward with this Jets team. They will figure it out. Every team does. Every franchise does. Eventually, you find the right mix. But you got to start from scratch. You can't keep piecemealing it together and hope that a bunch of talented veterans will figure it out, because that's just not how to do it in sports. All right, so that's our video for this week. Thank you for watching, and we will talk soon.